Well, you're right, guys. Those of you of a certain age and in the UK will probably recognise the initial tune there as Rhubarb and Custard, because today I am making rhubarb crumble and custard. I'm not going to go through the ingredients, but they're laid out on the screen there. Sort of crumble first on the left, then the filling bit, and then the custard on the right. But all the ingredients are down below as usual. Right, first up, don't worry, I've not hurt myself. That's black rubber paint stuck to the hairs on my wrist. And I am not going to pull it off. I'm going to wait till I have a bath later on. Okay then, so on with the crumble topping. And the way I do mine is a proportional mix. 2-1-1-1. So that's 2 lots of flour to 1 lot of fat, 1 lot of sugar and 1 lot of oats. In my case, I'm using 250 grams of flour, so it'll be 125 grams of everything else, really. You'll need to judge how much you need by the size of the baking dish you're going to use. I think mine was 9 inches by 9 inches, something like that. Just make sure your butter's nice and cold. Cut it into cubes, into the flour. In with the golden caster sugar. And then start cutting it in. You can use a knife, you can use a fork. I use this pastry cutter. Certainly speeds things up. Good bit of kit actually. It's great for mashed potato as well. And when you've cut it down so it's quite small chunks, get your fingers in there and just squeeze it all together, rough it around a bit. You're trying to get it looking like breadcrumbs. Normally, I'd recommend you not to keep your hands in there too long because you do not want to warm the butter up. Doesn't really matter this time because we're going to stick it in the fridge anyway. And when you're happy, get the oats in there. Porridge oats. Like I say, about 125 grams again. You'll see some recipes that just say put the oats in and mix them up. But I like to give them a good stirring. I want to get a bit of butter on them so they start cooking a little bit, you know. You'll also see some recipes say don't add your sugar till the end and then just give it a quick stir in. Again, I just do it. I put the whole lot in together. And when it's all mixed up, in the fridge for 30 odd minutes. What is good with this recipe is if you make too much, you can freeze it to use at a later date. Okay, the star of the show. Well, as a man says, the star of the show, rhubarb. This is variety Pink Blossom from the Leaf and Ground allotment. 2nd year, good harvest. I probably won't pick any more of this lot this year, but I have some more, what's they call them, late season rhubarb on the other plot. So stand by for more rhubarb recipes. So just chop it up into 1 to 2 inch chunks. Rough enough's good enough, size doesn't matter. 75 grams ish of white caster sugar this time. That's about 5 tablespoons in my book. You can put more sugar in if you want. A tablespoon of cornflour. It just helps thicken things up, gets the juices a bit thicker in the baking tray. Give it a good mix up. And we're going to leave it to one side for a bit, just until the crumble mix has cooled down in the fridge. Okay, then time to get the dish ready. And the Pyrex dish I'm using is 9x6, not 9x9, sorry about that. 9x9 is in the cupboard behind me. So get the rhubarb sugary mix in and just pat it down a little bit just to even it out. No point being too fussy. Right, rescue your crumble topping mix from the fridge and spoon it on. And you'll see now, look, I don't know if you can see it, it's staying quite lumpy. If you'd left that at room temperature, it would be like a fine powder or fine breadcrumbs. You want the knobbly bits, a bit of crunch like, you know. Do not pat this down. However it falls, just leave it. Push it in the corners, obviously. And then when you're happy, on with a bit of Demerara sugar. Only a tablespoon, just about. Just scatter it over. Gives it a nice crunch on the surface when it's cooked. Well, that's it. All ready for the oven. 180 Celsius fan. 35-45 minutes until the top is golden, the sugar's crusty, and the rhubarb's bubbling through. Okay then, while the rhubarb crumble is cooking, time to make the custard. Separate 4 eggs. You want the egg yolks this time. And as usual, crack them over another bowl, just in case you get a bad one. In with a couple of tablespoons of white caster sugar and 1 tablespoon of cornflour. And as it says, made for creamy custard. Give it a good mixing, a whisking. We're after that nice lemony colour again with everything combined. And I'll be doing a bit more whisking later on because I'm going to get the milk going now. Okay then, while we are stirring the eggs, we need to get the milk and cream warming up a bit. So we've got 500 ml of semi-skim milk and 300 ml of double cream. So we're going to warm this gently to start off with, and we get it up to just about a boil, just a good gentle simmer, not quite boiling, and then we let it cool down a bit. If it's too hot when it goes into the egg mixture, you will make scrambled eggs. And if you want a vanilla-y type custard, in with a teaspoon of vanilla extract. The milk has just about reached boiling point, so turn the heat off, let it cool down a bit. And as you can see, the induction hob cools down so quickly. I've put a towel on there just to stop things sliding about a bit. Right, in with the milk, a little bit at a time, just a little bit to start off with. Mix it up. This sort of cools the egg, cools the milk, warms the egg at the same time. A little bit more. And each time give it a good stir in, just to dissipate the heat. And very gradually, you'll pour it all in. And when the milk is fully incorporated with the egg mix, back into the pan on the heat just to warm it up again, and we're trying to thicken it up a little bit. A little bit runny at the moment. And this is going to be hot. Hot, hot, hot. Oh, nice and bubbly. Well, you just know I'm going to burn myself doing this, don't you? Oh, look at that. And the custard's getting a skin on it. Perfect. Right, let's get a bowl ready. Let's get that out of the way. Back as far as we can, back as forward as we can. There we are. I almost don't want to open this, guys. It looks lovely. Oh dear. Anyway, let's do it. Nice crunch. That's hot. Oh, steaming. Well, I'm not going to take too much because I don't want too much at the moment. I'll have the rest later. Right, where's my spoon? There it is. Like I say, it's going to be hot. Push that back a little bit. Yeah. Tart, sharp, sweet, lovely. A crunchy bit of crumble and a lovely creamy custard. Oh. Just what you need on a rainy day like today. God, that is excellent. That custard's lush. Hot bit. Hot bit. Ooh. And the oats bring a nice little crunch to the crumble as well. And the crusty sugar on top. That is lush. Well, guess what I got for pudding tonight, tomorrow, and the day after. Right. Right, let's find some containers to put all this in. That's a wrap. Proper job.